What's up, meatbags? It's the often imitated, never duplicated Tony TGD. And just like the title says, the Intellivision Amico test units have been shipped out. They're going to the Shills. We're going to talk about that. But before we get into it, let me remind you to like the video, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, because we are not the type to wait. We are going to give you that news as soon as we hit it. We're not going to drag it out. We're going to just lay it all out. And that's what we're going to do right now. So, last night, apparently, on the Next Level Gamer Show, the original Next Level Gamer Show, Mike Mullis dropped a little nugget about test units. And apparently, DJC is going to be dropping that nugget today on his Amico Forever episode 52. But we're not going to wait. We're going to tell you. I know you probably missed the Mullis stream because no one watches that shit. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to play the relevant clips. We're going to let you know what's going on, who's getting these test units, and what's it all about. As you can see here, this is the NLG show, episode 296. All right, at 47 minutes and 25 seconds. We're going to go ahead and let Mikey speak. Here you go.
Chris, if Chris was here, he would say the same thing. There's a bunch of people in the chat that are, waiting for this thing to hopefully come out. They're getting closer.
Always getting closer.
Intellivision is taking the next step of this, and
the next step. It's always the next step, guys. There's only like one more next step. It's the next step, then the next step, then the next step.
And doing some final pieces of testing to make sure that the system is stable and the system is fun.
Remember, we were told that this system should have been out 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 10/10/2020. Remember, everything was set. Everything was done. No testing needed. Everything was fine and set. So why, 2 years later, are we doing final testing? It makes no sense. And of course, these guys will sweep that under the rug. They won't even mention that. They won't even talk about it. They'll just pretend like that did not exist. That Tommy didn't say that. It was on the launch pad, ready to go.
So, Seth and I will be testing a pre-production Amico.
So you heard it from the horse's mouth. He's testing a pre-production Amico. He's getting a test unit. They're using this man for their Q&A. They got rid of their Q&A department, so they just said, hey, we'll just send it out to one of the shills. They'll do all the Q&A for us, because I'm sure these guys are trained QA professionals. They know how to spot all the bugs. They know how to figure this stuff out. They got definite design, manufacturing, development, knowledge. They know how to get it done. So they're going to send it to this guy. He's going to test it for them. And DJC's also getting one. And I can expect that the rest of the Shill squad that's still around, probably your Geeks with Cash, your Rab, they're probably going to get one too. Maybe Atari Creep.
It is actually, let me bring up another video. It is actually en route to us. And I should have it by end of day Friday.
By end of day Friday, we should see some sweet Amico action, but not quite, because there's always a caveat.
Wow! Congratulations.
So, Seth, and part of the reason
we're gonna skip ahead because he does the little blah blah blah, and we don't need all that. We're gonna skip over to 50. Let's see, 01. So we can get to the relevant part of the discussion here.
Dev code. This is nothing new for me. What I am allowed to say is that it is on its way. We will be putting it through its paces and kind of reporting back. It is like I'm a beta tester.
So he wants to have it both ways. It's like I'm a beta tester. No, fool. You are a beta tester. They're using you to beta test this machine without paying you and without you being, quote unquote, affiliated with the company.
What I am not going to say or be able to talk about for a little while is give any kind of public knowledge of what I'm seeing.
Oh, so he has to play it and report back to the company, but he's not allowed to tell anybody. That sounds like an NDA. Why would you give him an NDA, huh? Why would there be an NDA? Probably because this thing is full of bugs. It's not ready to go. It's way off of base. It's probably going to be slapped together, slapdash machine that they send him, and he's not allowed to tell anybody about it. For all we know, they're just sending him this unit to go through the motions, right? They're going to send him this unit, play this little game, and then by the end of the year, we were out of business, guys.
Yes, at some point we will. But
Boo. Everybody boo this man.
All right, so now we're going to skip ahead once again because we don't want this little stupid back and forth with these guys. We're going to skip ahead to 56-18, and we're going to get one more little nugget of information.
That, kids are going to want to play, families are going to want to play. So, I can't say anything about how long, Scepter. I can only say that right now I will not be able to actually answer questions. But just know they're starting to have people touch it and start getting ready to really push this thing towards its production line.
They're just now starting to get ready to push this thing towards its production line. All that pre-production talk, all that we're on the launch pad talk, all that other bullshit that they've been spewing year after year. What's all that about? Huh? How could you just now be starting to get ready to push towards production? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. On top of the fact, we already had people touching these things, right? What happened to all the showings, the Crabrola event, Turkey Point, the Texas Museum? Wasn't that people touching it? Wasn't those units ready to go? Weren't they ready to go? We had all this. We shouldn't be going backwards. It's like we're moving backwards in Amico land instead of focusing on the units that were ready to go, the games that were all set, ready to go. For some reason, now we're back to beta testing a machine that already had public showings. How could you have public showings and then beta testing? This makes no fucking sense to anybody. Anybody with half a brain, anybody who can think critically will tell you this makes no goddamn sense. But here it is being spewed out by, of course, the Shills. They're not going to tell you any of this stuff. They're going to sweep it under the rug. They're going to pretend like everything's hunky-dory, everything's fantastic in Amico land. We know this shit ain't. We know that they're hemorrhaging money. This is their last Hail Mary play, hoping to snag somebody desperate enough to invest in the Amico. But you know who might be desperate enough to invest in the Amico? Somebody who's really good at Baccarat. What am I talking about? Well, if you know anything, there is an Intellivision Amico subreddit started by yours truly, of course, and that's a very popular place, popular hangout for people to talk about Amico freely. And one of the things they talk about is, where in the world is Tommy Tallarico? And we actually had a legit Tommy Tallarico sighting. That's right, folks. They found him. He's not in California hiding. No, he's out there gallivanting around the U.S. Playing backgammon. That's right. As you can see from this post here, it is a post made by someone named Canadian Joseph Zero. It says, I saw Tommy playing backgammon in Denver a couple of weeks ago. Has anyone else seen any of the Intellivision crew unexpectedly in real life? So we actually, the people in the subreddit actually looked into it. And as a matter of fact, Tommy can actually be found on the backgammon website. He was actually active 7 hours ago now, 3 hours ago, when D-List Celebrity looked into it and made that post here that we're looking at. And by the way, I forgot to mention this, but those timestamps, I got those from Hey It's Sherry. So thank you, Hey It's Sherry. She's in the Discord. She said, these are the timestamps. She beat me to it. I'm not going to lie. We were both looking. She beat me to it. So thank you again, Hey It's Sherry, for those timestamps. And like I said, Canadian Joseph here, thank you for the heads up on spotting Tommy out there playing backgammon, living it up. Who knows, maybe he used that backgammon winnings to buy some of his stuff back at the auction. You never know. Stranger things have happened in Amico land. So there you go, folks. If you're looking forward to the Amico Forever 52, what big news they were having. Test units shipped out, should be there by Friday for some of them guys. The Shills are getting them. For some reason, pre-production units, which makes no sense. We had dev units. We had units that had working games. But now we're going back and we're beta testing these other units. None of this ever makes sense. This is Amico land. We're going to be stuck here forever. It's like fucking Groundhog's Day every day here in Amico land. But you know how we do it here. Love, peace, and booty grease. I'm out this bitch.